Hey, hello everybody. I'm here at the start of an amazing journey, I think, with my dear friend Kirk Morgan, as we talk all things key health therapies and your journey, and also why you and I are actually here today to discuss something which is changing the lives of many people. We want to change the lives of millions of people.
Indeed we do.
So Kirk, could you, I've been a chiropractor for 20 years. I deregistered. I'm now working as a spinologist, and I work very much in the physical, a little bit of the spiritual, but very much in the physical realm. And the chemical realm is always something I've not fully understood, whereas that's where you come in. And when you and I first met, we were helping out your back and what have you, but we stayed friends for a long period of time, and now we've got this opportunity to collaborate. And you've introduced me to a product which is quite extraordinary. So if you could just give me a little bit of background on you, Key Health Therapies, your journey and the amount of lives that you've changed, and then we'll talk about the product.
Okay, well, hi everybody. Well, my journey actually began long before Key Health Therapies was formed. Well, it's Key Health Nutrients and then recently Key Health Therapies. But my journey began probably 40 years ago when I was into gymnastics as a young boy. Injured myself as a young man, took up other sports, wanted to become an Olympic coach. That was my main dream or my goal at the time, and realised when I started studying what coaches were doing, I was looking at it, I spotted something that was very reminiscently the same in everybody. So I just decided to go the opposite way and look at what coaches weren't doing. And these are the things that were impeding the body to stop athletes getting successful. And obviously I started looking into ill health, how the cell can be subjected to toxicity, and that was a light bulb moment for me. So that led me then on to studying the human body in depth, the physiology side. It took me to university where I've graduated twice now, exercise and health in the community, exercise, human nutrition and performance. But that's led me on to my specialist study area, what I call my own study area, which is health-related decline and how to improve that health-related decline through natural remedies, non-pharmaceutical interventions. And obviously COVID came along when it did, which was kind of a landing or a founding board for me, because I spoke up highly about what I believed was the agenda at the time, which seems to be very true now, which has escalated me to where I am. I've got a massive fan base, a massive following. Got picked up with a wonderful natural herbalist, a master herbalist, who had a fantastic product. We've worked together now for about 2 years with this product, the one we're going to talk about a little bit later. And on the back of that, we've got thousands of testimonials, real life testimonials, a true life, does on the tin kind of product, not something that a company says and all the hype that many you see everywhere, Yes. I won't say many companies because that's been derogative. And that's where we are today.
I think the exciting thing for me is the fact that often we're prescribing lots of different supplements, and that prescription component is a very mechanical way of, or a medical way of looking at things. It's actually the appropriate integration of various things into the body so that the body can use it as a lever to facilitate the healing response. And one of the things I've noticed is that a lot of the products out there that people are claiming, they're all individual, so you have to buy more and more of it. And it would seem that this product covers all the bases. Am I right in saying that?
It covers all the bases, providing the body has got the easiest way to explain this to you, and I've told to many of the clients when I do seminars, when I do consultations. Before illness occurs in the body, you have a point where the body has everything it needs to protect itself. And it's only the absence of something, it could be an enzyme, it could be a vitamin, for example, over time that allows illness to get the upper hand. So although this will replace a lot of the inflammation and regress most of the adjustments the body makes, because the body adapts itself negatively when illness occurs, you still have to have the right nutrients, good food, which is the basis. You don't need supplements because food is your medicine. And providing that food is clean, and as I told you earlier before we started the interview, sufficient. Because sufficiency is, a lot of people say I eat healthy, that's great, and they should be eating healthy, but sufficiency is a different ballgame. Because you've got a level of inundation that needs to be kept at that level at all times with sufficient nutrients.
And things like stress, emotional, physical and chemical stress play a role in that, doesn't it?
Yes.
Parasitic stress,
stress,
etc., etc. So this product has got not just a recent history, the there is a long history associated with this.
Yeah.
And so can you tell me a little bit more about what's in it, and then we'll talk exactly about it.
Right. Well, the original product stems from India, which is the Neem. Obviously, the Neem is the carrier for our formula that's in it that I can't disclose, obviously. But in Ayurvedic medicine, Neem has been used to treat hundreds and hundreds of illnesses throughout the centuries, and done so successfully without the intervention of pharmaceutical medicines, and certainly without the use of vaccines.
Yes.
There's a lot of controversy, as you know, in the world today because of the pressure of Big Pharma and the corruption that is Big Pharma to suppress natural medicines. I think that the Cancer Act 1939 came in that you can't talk about curing cancer, you can't say it. Although the cures are there, there are cures out there.
And the cure's within, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
The body just needs the correct levers, doesn't it?
Yeah, the correct levers.
And certainly in the work that I do, physically I can produce the right levers and get the mind, the body speaking, but it still needs that chemical balance and support, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just needs the tools it needs. The body is self-healing, and to be honest, there's no miracle cure from me. I just give people the direction they need with the body, because the body will do what I could never do. I'll give you an example. If I said to you, I want you to take a cooked dinner, and I want you to take all the vitamins from the foods, break down all the proteins, make all the enzymes, you'd be scratching your head like I would. But the body does it,
exactly.
And, it's automatic.
And we call that the innate wisdom of the body. It is quite extraordinary, this body, and without interference, it can work perfectly well.
Perfectly well, I'm sure.
So we have this product, Lilac Petal Extract, Key Health Therapies, very pretty bottle. So there's lots of talk about various drugs that are out there which can help support certain conditions and stuff, and we're not claiming anything with this, but one of the things everybody could agree on is that every condition, regardless of its name, is inflammation, isn't it?
It's inflammation.
Yeah. And one of the things that this does do is
it reduces inflammation,
which is a very important point. So as an anti-inflammatory and a healthy anti-inflammatory, if you just looked at it like that, that would be that'd be great. It would benefit everybody who has inflammation, and on a daily basis, everybody has inflammation. But could you just sort of go into detail a little bit now about Lilac Petal and actually what people are saying about this? Because we're not going to claim anything.
No.
We're just going to say what people are saying, and you can go to the website and you can see the thousands of testimonials, real life testimonials, life-changing, not your neck and back pain stuff, the real miracle stuff of what people are saying about that.
Yeah, well, one of the main ingredients, as you touched upon there, is the parasitic removal from the body. Now, if you can imagine that we'll do it for mathematical logic. Imagine you've got 50% toxic intake and you've got 50% nutrients to deal with it. But out of that 50% nutrients that you should be having, parasites are consuming up to 40% of that. So you can see now that you're at a loss. You've got 10% of the nutrients and you should be able to deal with 50% of the toxins. Once you remove the parasites, you get that massive metabolic increase because now you've got available nutrients to deal with all the things that the body needs nutrients to deal. So that's one of the first things that people notice when they go on here, is your energy levels go through the roof.
Yes.
And that could be all it takes, because like I say, if you're eating sufficiently and clean, but that food is being diverted somewhere else, because that's what the body does. And obviously the other side of that, like you've so rightly touched upon, is stress. Anytime the body is negatively impacted, because stress has to be given preferential treatment, the body makes negative adjustments. So if the calories are being diverted to parasites and not to the metabolism, the body will simply slow down the metabolism to compensate for the lack of calories. That means that everything is slowed down. Toxic removal is impeded, nutrient delivery is impeded, and oxygen supply. That in itself stresses the body, produces stress hormone. And you've got two systems in the body, which we spoke about earlier. You've got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. And the body will give a preferential treatment to that. As long as stress is there in the body, it'll always give preference to it. But the other one is called rest and digest, as the name implies. So when you've got elevated stress, you can't go into rest and digest. So the body is not resting and certainly not digesting, which means you're not getting the nutrients from lack of digestion. That in itself will cause another form of stress. You've got parasites causing stress, lack of rest and digest causing stress. You can see how many markers there are for inflammation.
So it's getting that sympathetic, parasympathetic balance, fight or flight response, and the rest and digest response. And sometimes what people may find as well with any healing is that some people will get the miracle really quickly, and others have to work much harder to get there. But as I always say to the people that come to my office, you can have Mrs. Jones comes in. She's had a pretty straightforward life, but she's got back pain. And I say, but her prognosis is much better because all other aspects of her life are good. But Mr. Jones might come in and might have had a hell of a life. So he's got a lot of emotional stress and a lot of other physical stresses. So there's no difference between any human other than male and female and their life story. So that's why some people just have to be a little bit more patient. So if they've got more parasites, they're going to need more of the product.
And if they're eating if they're eating a good diet, but they're drinking a lot, everything that the body has to divert energy for whatever it needs. So let's say 8 things are going wrong in the body that you wouldn't be aware of. You just feel what I call the expressions. You get the aches, the shivers, or whatever, the fatigue. It could be 8 to 10 things going on that the body diverting your energy to keep it in check. Whereas some people could take this product, they've only got 2 things going wrong with them. It deals with that straight away, and euphoria begins in the body. Whereas other people think, well, I'm taking it for a month, but it's slowly impacting them 8 things. But it's not a one shoe fits all, and people have to understand that as good as the product is and what it does, they have to support it as well.
Of course.
It's like, I look at it like a steam train, when you're feeding coal to the furnace. Some people have got the coal on the steam engine. Some people are waiting for it to be loaded. Okay, so you can't keep that furnace going if you're waiting to be. There's a delay.
I like that analogy because I'm a rail enthusiast, so that's very.
Oh yes, sure.
So what are people saying?
Well, there's so much. The easiest way to get people to look at that is to look at the testimonials. But we've had people there, like I say, who come forward, stage 4 cancers, gone in remission. Their oncologists have come on and said that they're in remission. We've had psoriasis cleared up after 7 years of steroid treatments, and 17 different specialists of people gone in 2 weeks. It's a vast array of different illnesses, But and like you say, we've had a few people say it's not doing nothing at the moment, but you're always going to get that. But it's blown. I've recently done a seminar, 2 weeks ago, and there were people there that have come from all over the country, cancer patients that were dying, and now standing up, not fully well yet, but standing up, able to give testimonies. We've had people with arthritis, long-term arthritis, osteoporosis, arterial plaque, gone, but these are real life people.
And it is always about controlling that inflammation and getting that down. So when you're taking the product, Kirk, how do you take it?
Well, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the gut is responsible for absorbing nutrients, but what I find with a lot of people, nearly all the people, but to save going into that situation, I recommend that I treat everybody as if the guts are compromised. So the easiest way to take this, because it's fat soluble, that means it's absorbed better into the body when taking the fat. You can either take 10 drops in a little egg cup. This is what I recommend, with some olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, organic of course, and clean. 10 drops under the tongue for 20 to 30 seconds. Let it sit there and just swallow it. You do that twice a day. With children, because they've got a lot of natural antioxidants in the body, start off with 1 drop under the tongue. Let them swallow it, a little bit of juice. Watch the response, but no more than 4 drops a day for children.
4 drops.
4 drops a day.
Okay, that's really important. And if you're in a mad rush, can you just drop it on your tongue?
You can drop it under your tongue, certainly. Yeah. Okay. It's got a quite.
I don't mind the taste.
No,
I put it in water. I put it in various different things.
Yeah.
But I do quite like to know that I've taken every drop. So I will often just see it straight.
Some people say to me, "Well, how much is 10 drops?" No, I've got big fingers, so when I pinch, to squeeze the pipette at the top, it sucks up a little bit. Well, that's not 10 drops, one drop. So it's just a little drop. So when you squeeze it out, you're looking for that one little drop that comes out at the bottom of the pipette. 10 of them, because some people are squeezing, you'll have a big splash in. So but some people said, I've used it in 2 weeks. I'm thinking, well, it must be squeezing a lot. So be simple with the pipette when you use it.
Okay, cool, awesome. But obviously, taking something else into the system, what is there anything that anybody who takes this has to be aware of?
That's a wonderful point, and I'm glad you touched upon that. Yes, it definitely can enhance the effect of medications. So you can look at that 2 ways. One is it can enhance the effect of the strength of medication. So that means you can take less of the medication because you don't need as much, which is great for weaning off. but also you don't want it to making your medication twice as strong and having that impact. So what I recommend is people who, if they're taking like thyroid medication or diabetic metformin, whatever, take these medications at least 3 to 4 hours apart from the neem oil.
Right.
So obviously the ideal thing to do is about 6 o'clock in the morning when you wake up is a great time to take in the morning, because you know, it lowers your cortisol levels anyway, which are naturally coming around. And the less fight or flight state you're in, the healthier your body is, because we want to reduce stress as much as we can. And if you're using it, then obviously once you start this, and this is just a, you know, just advisory, I'm not telling you to do it, but if you're taking metformin, for example, and say you're taking 20 micrograms or 20 milligrams, you could take about 50 milligrams one day while you're taking this, because it'll enhance the effect of that. You're still taking 20 milligrams, but you're coming off that medicine.
Yes.
And then until you look into natural replacements, you know, which there are, obviously, as many things, or blood thinners, statins, we have natural replacements for them. So you've got to come off them slowly, but be very careful with this product, because it does make them stronger.
Okay, that's really important. And if somebody is, say, diabetic, will they notice, and their blood sugar monitoring, what have you, are they going to notice their blood sugar change as well?
It makes the insulin more, the cells more receptive to insulin. Right. So you know, obviously they can have less insulin. It can lower the blood sugar, can balance blood sugar because of the effect it has on metabolism and the metabolic processes involved in insulin uptake. So they have to be very careful, not to the sense it's going to harm them, but they will notice a difference, you know.
Right, okay.
So, you know.
And like with regards to side effects, or there's no such thing as a side effect, sorry, effects. If there is an effect, say with the bowel movement, they may notice some loose bowel movement. Are they likely to see little guys waving at them down the pan?
To be honest, I've had some people sending me photographs. It's the exact thing. Women, I don't know why women in particular, sent me photographs. Kirk, are they poor? Is this a parasite? And I'm like, what do you say? Yeah. If they look in, obviously you'll see little things. They won't be moving at that point because they would have been dead before removal. But certainly, you know, you will notice some that it looks like bits of fibre in most cases. Not that I should say studied in depth. The other side, the other point I want to make is if they do get like the diarrhea effects, that simply means as comfortable as that is, the body, it's easier for the body to remove liquid than solid. So once you're shifting something quickly, it means that the body's working as part of your immune system.
Yeah, okay. So just a few subtle things to sort of be aware of, really.
Yeah, be aware.
As part of the detoxification, would they necessarily become thirstier? Would you recommend make sure they drink plenty of water?
Always be hydrated. And like I say, the body expresses itself, mannerisms, so runny eyes, shivers, aches and pains. It's an unnecessary, it's an evil twin, so to speak. You've got to detox, but some of the detox, depending on the body's availability of nutrients and how quick it can detox the body, the most toxins in the body are fat soluble, but they've got to be converted to water soluble form for excretion by the liver and the kidney. So we need an healthy liver, we need hydration, because that, urinary tract. So they might experience what they call flu-like symptoms, although I've explained in previous blogs the flu doesn't exist, that's just a detoxification. But we'll use that word because that's what people are familiar with. So they might get aches and shivers, so it's uncomfortable they're going through it, but once you start the product and you feel that, you know that's toxicity being removed.
Yeah, and that's just the body's natural response.
Natural response. Don't interfere with the immune response. Anti-inflammatories, anti-all this, are going against what the body is doing naturally. Let the body run its course. Yes. Inflammation is an immune response. Yeah. And what you tend to find is if, for example, you take antibiotics, if you were to run the course of an illness, it might take you months to get over a bacterial infection, but the body produces memory cells to that infection. You never catch that again. Yeah. Whereas if you shortchange that by taking antibiotics and you end that process of memory, you'll catch that illness over and over and over because the body hasn't learned what that illness is.
Exactly.
This is what
so again, it's trying to identify cause. Yeah. And we're not saying either that those things aren't helpful.
No, antibiotics are.
But chronic use of anything and reliance on everything, just to say as we take this because it just benefits us. So if something benefits you in life, you're going to continue taking it. But we don't want it to be a crutch. We want it to fix the problem when you move on in your life. Just the same as medicine should be there for emergency, not reliance.
Well, it's like this, with any medication, the body becomes sensitive to it. So you have to up the dosage. Yeah. Whereas food, and we'll just use the sprout for analogy, you can eat the sprout, but to get the effect of that sprout, you don't have to eat 500 sprouts, 600 sprouts, so on. You can just eat the sprout. The body, it's a food form, the body loves it. But a medicinal form has a different reaction in the body. It's accumulation. And obviously chemicals via the liver. you're stressing the liver, so you're taking more chemicals, but you're damaging another organ.
Yeah.
It's an unnecessary evil.
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Pay Paul, yes, exactly.
Okay, good. Obviously, we've just come off the back of a episode in the world, which has been a controversial episode, and certainly mainstream doctors have now questioned the narrative as well.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things being said about turbo cancers and increased rates of diabetes and all the inflammatory disease, heart disease, etc., Parkinson's, dementia. Everything is on the rise.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a perfect storm, if you like, of inflammation happening within society.
Yes.
So therefore, this product is something that could benefit lots of different things, and that's certainly what people are saying.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now, the mechanism behind it. So once the parasites, because parasites, I don't know a huge amount about parasites, but what I do understand is that the parents, the adults,
Yeah.
will often sort of try and hide a little bit, and it's often the little guys that come out first when you detox. And I've been there, and it's an interesting experience to think that was living in my body. And so sometimes they'll panic and they'll produce more offspring, and so there can be that. So the person may be feeling the effects of that as well initially, right? Once the system is cleared out, what then is the mechanism behind what's in this product that actually then continues to facilitate that healing potential?
Well, it's 90% of the immune system, as you know, will be the good flora that reside in your gut, and obviously that is removed by antibiotics, toxins, the growth of parasites, and even the bad bacteria. And in particular, when you've got stress favours cortisol release and favours sugar as the main fuel, and sugar is the driving fuel source for the pathogenic bacteria. Okay, so once you remove these things, it feeds the gut, it nourishes. The actual product itself, Neem, is very beneficial as a prebiotic to gut flora.
Right.
Masses, and the quicker they grow, the more beneficial they are. And obviously, you need the bacteria because they could take the active ingredients from food and convert it into the medicinal forms that the body can use.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest things you see, because once your gut is working, and obviously because of the lack of cortisol and the lack of toxins in the cell, it deacidifies the cell. So once you've got an alkaline environment, it's very, very difficult for any ill health to occur in the body. Obviously, when you've got very low stress levels, other than what you normally produce, cortisol to wake you up in the morning, you've got no inflammation. So the body has many tools at hand that is not diverting its resources to keep it in check. You know?
It's incredible. So there are phases to the healing response, and it supports each of those phases. Okay.
And obviously, once the product has been used successfully, we address the people's environmental factors and to make sure that whatever caused that illness to occur in the first place doesn't come back again. Because you don't want to stay on the product for life. You can. I stay on it. I take it. I talk about it again, as you do. But obviously, a good diet and a healthy diet and a change of attitude is what we try to instill in people.
Of course, so it's a conscious movement that we're trying to provide in communities to upregulate their health, aren't we? Really?
Yes, and get them away from these harmful medicines that so many people are taking.
So this lilac petal extract, love the name. Lilac petal itself is the plant, is that right?
It's called, we're actually changing a little adjustment of this label now. It's going to be called Indian Lilac, because the Indian Lilac tree is the neem tree.
Right.
There's many different neem trees, so obviously our formulation and the leaves we use are part of our remedy and our formula.
Okay.
The extraction method is taken. I want to point out that there's been a bit of controversy with the regulatory agencies saying that it's an insecticide, simply because one of the ingredients in limonene, which is found in lemon seeds, believe it or not, they tell you that you can't eat lemon seeds now, is a repellent for mosquitoes, which it is, but that's sensory, they smell it. But we do not use the seed for extraction in our products, it's the leaf, But even then, you can eat lemon seeds, they've been tested for cancer.
Yes.
Another one of the terpenoids which they get from olives, which certain flies won't land on certain olive trees because of the smell. Yeah. But we know you can eat and drink olive oil.
Yeah, of course.
But we're always going to have that push against it.
We are, because of the way that the world is. Yeah. But we are here to help educate people. Yes. It doesn't have to be so. Yeah. So keyhealththerapies.com, new website, exciting. So you can go to the link on the video to check out the website. There are other products in the line as well.
We've got a wonderful product now coming up that we're launching this week now, an autistic trial. So I will be launching an autistic trial for 20 parents to come along. who have autistic children. There's 10 parameters that we're looking for them to follow over the course of a month. And obviously the reason this is so important is because this work is going off to Australia, where they will do clinical trials to follow the work that we are presenting to them. So what I try to prove in these 10 trials that we're going to do, with people, if I can prove that what I'm saying for them to do with the products that we're going to give them for free, because it's a free product, so one of them's called a pine serum. We're going to give these products for free. They're going to follow their children for a full month. They're going to document 10 things like social behaviour, interaction, eye movement, body movement, sleeping patterns. And they'll write a little documentary on that, a little paragraph on that on a Friday. They'll film the child throughout the month. That will be sent off to the university in Australia, where there's a professor waiting to get this clinical data tested with the right bacteria. And that'll be funded by the Australian government. And should we prove, which I'm almost certain it will because of the evidence we've done, that this works, it'll be noted as an alternative medicine across the globe.
Which is huge, especially because if we're talking pandemics, real pandemics, the future of our children and society is in peril at the moment. When you look at the statistics when it comes to autism, one in 32 boys, and potentially by 2030 it's on such a slide that in some regions it'll be 1 in 2, and that is
same as cancer today.
It is, and there are some amazing people, especially the Maha movement, who are making that aware, and doctors here. And so this is a really exciting study, and I do urge anybody who is watching this that if they have a child or they know a family who is struggling with a child of developmental delay, autism, on that whole spectrum, please get in touch, because it's going to change that family's life. I genuinely believe that, only because I'm seeing it in my own office. There's only so much I can do with removing interference. The body has to be able to detoxify, and those products help do that. So on the website, on the Key Health website, at the moment there are multiple products, and taking any type of supplementation can be beneficial, but actually being specific about it is also important, isn't it? So blood works and stuff can be really important. So people need to be aware that it may work for one person but may not work for another. Whereas this is a different product. I want to talk about this as much as possible, because this really is exciting.
Well, in the 44 years that I've been taking supplementation, studying, research purpose, looking for my own products and everything, I come to realise that it's a once in a lifetime you come across a product like this, and the only way we can make this better at the moment, which we are capable of doing, is making it stronger. That said, it's very specific to the illnesses that are out there, as is pine serum, very specific to autistic children. Certain pine, again, I say certain because I can't give away too much because it's our product. But nature has always held the medicines. Nature's always held the answers to it. It's just the distraction from those who've copied nature to make vast profits. And obviously over the years myself, because this has been going on over 90 years, this misinformation, the demonization of natural products. But the easiest way I say it, when people say, how can you say food is your medicine? I say, well, simply stop eating for 8 weeks and see where you are. Exactly, food is your medicine.
100%. So the other thing we're also looking for is we're looking for affiliates. So that if there are any chiropractors, osteopaths, natural doctors, anybody in the health and wellness industry who are actually specifically working with people with chronic disease, we're actually looking to get you involved as well, because we can't do this all on our own. And we're just super excited about the product. And so what you can do is there'll be a page on the website which will enable you to apply for an affiliate program, which obviously will financially benefit you as well, but it's going to help enhance the results that you get with your patients as well, or your clients as well. So I think that's important, that this is not about you and me driving this. This is about everybody getting involved and creating communities that are healthy. I think that's what
exactly.
There
could be a practitioner out there right now is trying his hardest, and doing his very best. The product comes along, and like myself, he sees the testimonials. 5 out of 10 of his people are reacted to it, and all of a sudden word spreads. That's another link, because we can't cover everybody on our own, you know. We need to get the message out there, and the more people, more messengers out there, the better, because it is a genuinely good product.
It is. And the other thing that we're also doing is Kirk and I are going to be travelling around the country as well, to various communities to introduce the idea of health and the health from within. And so if you think you can get a minimum of 100 people in a room, where we can come along and have a chat about all things anti-inflammatory, lilac petal, Indian lilac petal, and how you can detoxify your body, then please get in touch with us as well through the website, and we'll be only too happy to travel to help your community as well.
Indeed.
Kirk, that was fun.
Can I just say one thing, Ben, just for the audience, but with regards to Care Therapies, obviously Care Therapies and Care Nutrients have merged together as one site. So it's not the end of Care Nutrients, it still exists, but you'll find Care Nutrients products and the Care Therapies website now, when we finally shut that website down.
Yes.
So just to let people know what
that's really important as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just everybody get on board with this product. Everybody who's supported us so far, spreading the word. A massive thank you from and Ben will be on board with this now. And the guys behind the camera, who I'd love to introduce to you at the moment, we'll be filming this, but you will get to know them, the team. But no, everything's great. But everybody get on board as much as you can with this, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime product. And don't take my word for it, take real-life testimonies. They're on our site, you can read them. Get an handkerchief, because some of them are quite upsetting, It's really touching. That's all.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Exciting times.
Exciting times.